Okay, you're wanting to design mods for controllers for physical disabilities, especially for this contest I'm running, but even just for fun. I'm going to give you a few ideas and inspirations to work with to begin thinking of things that you can design. Let's look at a few different ideas. Remember, all of these concepts that I'm going to talk about, it would be preferable if they were non-destructive, which means that they somehow just clip on or mount on in some way without modifying or destroying the controller. This is ideal as it requires the least amount of skill to install them, and you can install them from controller to controller as your controller wears out, etc. All right, let's go over some of the most common needs that I see out there. Number one, top-down gaming. This comes with a whole suite of difficulties. Just imagine it, right? So you put your controller down and you're gaming from the top for some reason. Usually this is because squeezing the controller is difficult or they don't have the muscle control anymore to hold the controller up. Reason is irrelevant. There's a lot of people that game top down, and this presents some issues with getting to the shoulder buttons and especially the triggers. Now, the way the Xbox controller sits, you can set it down and still operate the triggers fully, which is fantastic. So some way to be able to operate those and still retain analog control from the top would be incredible. Currently what I do is I have an extension that requires you drill a hole, put some glue, put a tiny screw in. That's inefficient. I hate it. I just haven't designed anything better. So some way to be able to do those triggers from the top would be fantastic. Then you have these as well. That would be great. Number two, there's a lot of gamers out there who don't have either, they don't have fingers or they don't have finger control to be able to hit all these buttons. So if there was a way to extend these upwards and outwards to a larger area that could be hit, let's say that you had maybe something the size of your wrist, a nub the size of your wrist that you were gaming with. If there was some way that you could then hit those different buttons, that would be incredibly useful. Same thing here with the D-pad. If there was some way to extend that, spread it out, etc. Number three, one-handed gaming. There are many people out there who are gaming one-handed. As you can see, this presents a lot of difficulties with reaching the things on the other side of the controller. Some options here that I've seen are to make an extension for the thumbstick on one side that sticks out the bottom so that then you could move the whole controller, and then that would in turn move the thumbstick on that side so you can do both at the same time, or maybe just an extension that comes over to this side so you can move it. Extensions for the shoulder and the trigger so that they can be done with one side. And remember, it's not just right-handers or left-handers, it's both. So anything you design, maybe keep in mind to design one for the other side as well. All right. Number four, I think. This is the most difficult one in my mind to do non-destructively, but it is the most common modification I make for people. The thumbsticks have a click. I don't know if you can hear this. Let me get the microphone down here. So those have a click. That click is extremely difficult. It's hard for me to do it. You saw me struggle with pushing the controller sideways, or the thumbstick sideways when I was trying to put it. That click is the bane of my existence, and from what I understand, in a lot of games it can't be remapped elsewhere, or something to that effect. If you can come up with a way, non-destructively, to retain use of this, but then have an additional clicker somewhere to be able to do that thumbstick click, that would be insanely incredible. I don't know how you would do that non-destructively, but if you could, that would be fan-freaking-tastic. So as you can see, there's plenty that you could design that would help different people. Don't worry if you already see a design out there that covers the same problem that you're thinking of. There are so many minute variations in people's needs that maybe your design would help somebody that somebody else's design didn't help. Just don't worry about there being designs already. The more, the better. The more variations, the better. Because, you know, it's just the nature of the beast that there's no one-size-fits-all problem here with this situation. Remember, keep them ideally, you know, clip-on or assemble around the controller so that they don't actually modify the controller itself or damage the controller. and I am super eager to see what you come up with.